Welcome to Ignite Intimacy, a podcast exploring intimacy, romantic relationships, sexuality, and the all of everything that relates to these hot topics. We're going in. You ready? This is your host, Miss La. Let's do this.
Let's talk about porn. I hate porn.
That's how you started.
So why do you hate it?
Because it's bad. I don't watch B movies or C movies or D movies with D actors. Mm-hmm. I don't find those people attractive, and I feel I would enjoy porn. And there's something, of course, that I would enjoy. I'd sit and watch porn if they looked more like me. If the sex was better. I think you're having horrible sex. If the sex was really good, juicy, wonderful, and the acting was great, I'd sit and watch it for hours probably. And I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that men don't care that it's bad, and they're sitting down there thinking, "Oh, this is great." I'm like, "Who are you, dude? Like, we have sex together. Like, why would you enjoy this?" So that's why I hate porn.
So, okay, I just want to introduce this conversation because I'm sitting here with three of my favorite people in the world.
2.5.
2.5. We've got three adults in the room and one year young little boy who's blessed us with the gift of his presence in the world.
He doesn't like to talk about porn.
So we're sitting here with Guy and Nigel, and they are some of my dearest friends. And these two, one of the reasons why I wanted to have at least this first conversation with them for Ignite Intimacy is because they have such a unique perspective on life, and that ranges from relationships to creativity to world travel to just the energetic dynamics of the universe, and I'm constantly being expanded whenever I'm in their presence. So I wanted their energy to expand this audience with their insights, and we decided that we were going to launch into this first conversation and with the subject of porn on the mind, and just explore that a bit, because I have my own relationship to pornography, and everybody does. So I started the conversation by saying, is porn bad? And it launched us into this whole topic about porn. And I think that with everything in the world, things in moderation are better than things in excess. And then also things of quality are better than things of mediocrity. So we're going to kick off this conversation, this Ignite Intimacy conversation with Guy and Nigel and little G over there, talking about pornography. And, I hear you, Nigel, because I do believe that there's got to be some good porn out there. There's got to be some more well done, more conscious. I've been looking for a website, and please, if you're listening to this conversation and you know of some resources, I'd love for you to email us at hello@igniteintimacy.com, because I've been looking for a website where there's porn with people who are fully consciously consenting to do this as part of their contribution to the world, that it doesn't involve any type of weird, awful sex trafficking or anything like that, where people are not just all messed up on drugs. And I want the good, conscious, this is what we love to do, this is what we love to share with the world type of thing, and it's high quality. So that's something that I'm personally looking for. If anybody knows of some resources, hello@igniteintimacy.com. But let's keep the conversation going. Guy, we have... Are you laughing at her?
I'm laughing because you want high quality porn. Okay, all right. Okay, how do you know the difference between when it's when a body is naked and it's art, or it's pornography. Yes? How do you know? There's
I think it's context.
okay, context, and also whether or not people are, getting it on, right? Doing it, right? The nature of porn requires a certain low level.
Okay.
Yeah, but if we're talking about level of porn, I mean, okay, so I am not I think there's room for all kinds of porn, and people watch all kinds of porn. I don't have a problem with porn personally. Yes, I think in my generation we kind of came into the world where when the internet kind of just started and we were the teenagers, and so it was like access to porn that the first real time most people back in the day, I guess, in the Caribbean especially, came across porn was either a magazine under somebody's chair, under somebody's bed, or and it's an image, a picture.
That's how I came into it. It was in my girlfriend. My sister and I were, I don't know, maybe 5th grade, 6th grade, and we're in our girlfriend's bathroom, and her father had some like hardcore porn magazines.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing those images.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from a background where the depth of the birds and bees conversation in my family was don't have sex until you're married.
Yeah.
That's what I learned about sex and my body from my family.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until much later, after I had experimented for many years and all of that I started gaining some wisdom from my mother. Bless her heart, it's just part of that generation and them being a product of that generation. So I remember when I saw these images, I was shocked.
Yes.
I was shocked and intrigued.
Yes. Of course. You're curious, everything, your heart race and so forth. But then flash forward
flush,
to now.
You feel feelings.
Yeah.
You're feeling the feeling, baby.
You start, of course, and you have no reference to it. It's almost like, you get a glimpse into, and here we're glorifying porn in a way, but it's almost like, it's like the first time you're seeing this thing. It's you've never seen it like this before, and it's very impacting. Now, when you fast forward to now presently, and we have the access to porn, and how younger people, especially even like my baby now, but at some point he's going to grow up into a man, and he's going to
well, let's talk about my daughter, who's at the latter part of her teen years.
Yes.
And her friends, and I remember there was a situation where I saw some things on a Skype conversation that tipped me off to say, what was going on with you and this boy, and just all of the video, you can have video conversations now. I mean, the kids are sending videos of themselves masturbating to their boyfriends, and and
of course.
I mean, and then also these young men are watching porn, and then they're thinking that is the way that you relate to, because they're not being taught.
Right, it's a bad circle, because basically I don't really want to have sex with somebody who has sexual intercourse in the way that they do on porn flicks or whatever you call them. I don't want, like, I'm very fortunate that once I got involved with Guy and stuff, that he, even though he likes porn, he's definitely not a porn star in bed like that. Guy, how does that make you feel?
What do you mean? I'm a yardie in bed.
Right, and I'm saying that you can tell the difference between somebody who doesn't have experience with like having sex with a woman more than once. You can tell the difference between that person and somebody who just says, okay, this is how they do it on those porn, videos that I've seen, and you're like, what is happening right now? Like, why are you doing that? And who said that worked out? You understand what I mean? And I think it's worse for kids who are, this is their entire world. Like Laura is saying, it creates this cycle. The girls think that's what the guys want. The guys think that's what the girl wants. And then everybody's having really bad sex.
And not talking about it. Yeah. They're not, because,
too much pressure talking about it.
Yeah. And it so that's something that I'd like to talk about as well, is just having those uncomfortable but necessary conversations that's why this podcast is launching because people aren't having those conversations. They're not saying, you know what, sweetie, I love how you touch me, but I really don't like I'd really love you to pay more attention to this part of my body instead of that. Or I'd really love it if you know, and I believe that humans, I know from my own experience, so attached to ourselves and, we take things personally and this and that we think, she doesn't like it, or, it's a diss. But it's like, when we can start to just have those conversations in a way that aren't awkward and...
Well, conversation about sex can be awkward, right? Because, okay, what I'm saying is that sometimes you can't speak about it because everybody kind of feels, but I feel like people put more work into yoga practice. You know, you can't get your back bent before you do like 16 classes, but you're not willing to work it out past one time you have sex with that guy or that girl.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a practice thing, and sometimes it doesn't need as many words because sometimes Guy and I try to overtalk something, and then both of us are like, besides, sometimes I can't describe what I want to him. I can't describe it, or I'm like, could you just do something. You come towards me and let me find out, maybe I like it, maybe I don't know I like it, you know? And I feel like that's part of the swag of a guy too. He's like, you don't know you like this, my girl, let me do this to you. And I'm like, no, I know, yes.
I had some of that last weekend,
you know? But I think sometimes talking is good, but if there can't be talking, what is there? It's practice.
Yeah.
It's a practice, just like yoga. You have to put some effort into it. You have to put some. I think that would work. And I mean, it goes against our very casual sexual sex culture right now. Kind of like, hi, how are you doing? Can we have sex? And I understand that's what's going on in some circles or whatever. And not knocking that at all. But still, at some point,
definitely think. But based on what you're saying, now I'm thinking and realizing too that like there's definitely a difference for men with what porn is and what is sex. Yes. And so this poses a challenge now. At one point it was a kind of a replacement. In the meantime, since you can't get any wine, you go and you find a book to read,
Or maybe your drive is stronger than your partner's.
Exactly.
So
it was a filler, but it became a fetish, and then after that it became a kind of norm, an obsession, and then it just became, and then the internet just became like freaking. The highway was already built. All they had to do was just, Netflix follows the pornography model of streaming. Porn was the first company to stream. Porn was the first industry to use VHS. And that's when we switched to VHS. Everything was beta before that. So this industry has some power and has been manipulating the minds of mostly men, to a kind of carnal sexual mentality. Yes. Which, of course, is good and bad because now...
Okay, do you watch it because you want to get to the end, right? You want to get to... The point is the climax? Is that what porn is? I'm just asking because I really actually don't know. What is the point? When the point is you want to...
It varies. It's every time it's different.
Okay, cool.
It might be based on something you want to see, or it might be based on.
Okay, how do you feel if you don't have a climax at the end of your? Does it matter?
Well, no, because if you look, if how men search porn, you can. It's depicted really well in the movie Don Juan, which is like 2013 movie with that actor guy. I can't remember his name right now.
Ed something or other. Yeah, I know. I started to watch that movie and then I stopped.
But what is it? But what?
But Joseph Gordon.
It's basically his. He's in relationships. He watches porn.
Yeah, he's addicted to porn, and then he has a girlfriend, and you see where like he just has sex with his girlfriend. Then he goes to goes out into the living room, and he opens his computer, and he's like searching for porn.
Right.
And he spends so much time searching through because it's so much data,
Yeah.
so much porn. You want porn with the lollipop, you want porn with a
Right,
cucumber,
but what is
you
he
want
looking
this.
for?
The right one.
Okay.
Because the moment men don't have porn sex, if you want to think of it like
Right.
when they're busting a nut watching the porn.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not trying to create what it is that they create in bed
Okay.
with a woman,
Okay.
which is, oh, I need to prolong this.
Yeah.
Okay, wait until she arrives,
Right.
and then let me. No, it's a totally different experience.
Okay.
Where it's about what I'm seeing, how I'm feeling, am I there?
Well,
am I
why?
not? Like,
But I guess what the question that has been asked over
Yeah.
and over by women is, why can't I give that to you? What is so different? What is something about are you getting there that I
Yes.
want to be the one to give that to you?
Yes.
But you're saying that it's two different things. So I shouldn't really be insulted because
Yes.
actually,
because
so
it
we
has
just had
no,
sex.
it has no
But I can't
basis
help-
in
but
the
I-
fundamental spiritual connection of
but
love.
suppose I just want to
Pornography
be
has
the
no-
person who makes you like
Like you can be the freak. You can be the freak.
right?
Yes, you can be the freak.
But you
Is it a
But
freak
you
factor?
see-
Is it
Is it a freak
men
factor?
looking
Of course.
for more
It's
of
more
a
than
freak
one.
factor?
Maybe because you
Like
have
their
some,
woman can't, maybe they're just not in their nature, they're not open to that, or they love their woman, but their woman's not into anal or whatever, and
Yeah.
then they're just so craving that and they want it. So, you know,
Then they go and they just find a video of it and then they use that for that
to
satisfaction.
appease that fantasy or
Maybe for that particular man, maybe that's what he wants. But I don't know, I kind of lost my point.
It's kind of complex, because I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think.
Maybe. What would I like to see in porn? What if we had girl porn? Is there girl porn? Like,
Of course there's girl porn.
I don't mean girls in porn. I mean porn made by women.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that
of
there
course.
is.
There's lots of
Yeah,
porn
sorry,
made by
I'm
women,
not
and I mean
expert.
there've been so many revolutions in the world of pornography.
Yeah.
Even the concept of how men look in pornography has changed.
Yes,
in the
recognize
'60s,
that.
in the old videos, the men are horrible. Men didn't think about
Them.
watching them. Didn't think about. They just wanted to see
Right.
the act of it happening, and then.
Right.
Slowly,
And the GoPros
now
now
the
are
men.
amazing.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's actually. I mean,
And the
I
men
know I
are
say
now
it's
beautiful
bad.
in their bodies.
I know I say it's bad, but sometimes it's pretty good, and it's pretty bad, but pretty. It's like wow.
It's well shot.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But I guess we really do have sex for different reasons, or because.
No, we don't have sex for different reasons. We watch pornography
Okay, we
for
watch
different
see,
reason
I-
other than
again,
sex.
This is the problem.
We watch pornography for a different reason other than sex.
Yeah.
And I'm sure most men will agree with me on that. It's not the same. It's not the same. And that's why it's always an
Does it
issue
affect- does-
between
does
the
it
woman
affect?
and the man because she
Okay.
says, but that's me. I
Okay.
want to be that person that you look at and you go, I want
Two
to have an
points, 2
orgasm
points.
looking at you.
So I've gotten over it. It's not the same when we're having sex. It's not the same. Porn satisfies a different thing. Blah blah blah. Okay, I'm over it now, right?
Yes.
But isn't it a little violent?
Of course.
Okay, just checking.
I said it was carnal.
Just to make sure that I'm not the only one in right between us now. Isn't it a little violent?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
some of the
it's
things.
very violent.
Some of the things that are freakish, right? That's not freakish. That's freaking. That's you. That's meaning when I say you, the man
Yeah.
having zero consideration
Yes.
any more than a butcher does for
Yeah.
chopping up some meat.
Yeah.
For the girl,
Yeah.
for the girl or woman who is,
He's just
and,
playing
I
this
mean,
passive role of
right,
just being the person
and
being
sometimes
dominated.
She's not that
and
passive. Sometimes
Yeah.
she's but I just think sometimes the violence is so overwhelming that I'm like, yo, I don't think I want you to watch this
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think
But-
that's a problem with the youth watching it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's perpetuating
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
energy, that energetic
But-
vibration. Also, it makes me think of BDSM. So
Yeah, of course.
women,
Bondage,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
like the flipping the script on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
and
course.
and the violence that's exhibited towards men who are begging for that.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
begging to be dominated. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Born agrees.
But you said something about
the perpetuating
And
the
I come-
violence
and I
and
come
in
from-
the
Okay,
youth.
And I
yes.
come from-
So
I come
I wanted
from a
to talk
culture,
about the
right?
violence thing before
Right, and I come
because
from a culture that, I mean, like, it's already the concept of sex is already a little bit biased towards, you know, the man being like this guy, putting it on her, like
Yeah.
she's
Yes.
the recipient of a lot of, you know.
So let's talk about that. Where are
Okay.
you from? You're both from different countries.
Yes.
However, let's talk a little bit about that because that's really valid here in this
Okay.
conversation.
So I've lived in the United States for 15 years, but I am born in Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica, and I'm very culturally still very Jamaican. So I mean, I still maintain a lot of that kind of the swagger of that particular culture. And Guy,
And it is quite called. It is. There's a lot of swagger. I mean,
and there's a lot of great stuff, and there's a lot of really bad, you know, things that really need to be worked out. But so we do have a very our music tends to have a lot of a very sexual content and
The
very
dance.
explicit content in the dance hall kind of you know, context. And a lot of it is kind of like what I think about the same thing with porn. It's so much violence, and I'm not even wary of using that word because it is violent. It's not like, oh, you know, it's just aggressive or assertive, or it's not that. I'm not a prude. It's really just the woman is getting hurt.
yes, which takes us to another conversation about like how misogyny is like throughout all of our culture. Like when you talk about like the violence, Game of Thrones, I saw a scene in Game of Thrones, the man walks in, he takes an axe and he just throws it in every dude. The next three dudes, he threw the axe into their balls. Yes?
I did
And
not
that's
watch
the
Game of
scene of that's in the scene of Game of Thrones. So every time we look back at our culture and as we move forward, everything is on crack. Porn is on crack now. It's not like, you know, even Jamaican dancing, it's on crack right now. Or I was just saying to Nisha, we're just having a conversation about nostalgia when things returning. But when they return, they're on crack. Even yoga returns on crack.
yeah, it's power yoga now.
Yes, it's
You
power
know,
yoga, and as naked as you can be, and as sexual as
sweating
you
and
can
it's-
be, and
yeah,
this and
yeah.
this. It's all of that. It come up very extreme. And so I'm from Guyana, which is a country in South America, just above Brazil. It's a part of the Amazon rainforest. And yeah, then I moved to Jamaica. That's where you hear my accent is Jamaican. And then now I live in New York. And and I'm married to beautiful Nichelle. Yes. Lucky
yeah.
me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I proclaim my love on the radio right now for this woman. Yes.
Love it.
Even though we don't have the same views about porn.
We've never had the same views about porn. And this is why I love her, because I said from the beginning, I said, listen, I like porn. It has nothing to do with the connection that we have. Maybe it's an addiction, like how some people like alcohol or cigarettes. Maybe I will make sure that I keep my viewership
To a
minimum, but I won't put a number on it.
So you showed me something. You showed me something one day that was really nice.
And what was nice about it?
It was like a sexual massage. Do you remember? It was a woman, and she's very professional. She was very skilled.
A woman
Giving a woman a massage, and she's. It was filmed in a way that you could see her. See that she was a skilled, massage therapist of some kind. And it gradually got into a sexual massage, and quite explicit and whatever. But I was mesmerized. I guess it was so good. I was like, yeah, I'll take one of those, And Guy, can you give me one of those?
Of course.
But it was there was no necessarily. I didn't see that there wasn't any. Similar to porn, there wasn't any necessary, like, love involved or any kind of, it wasn't lovey-dovey or it wasn't necessarily that. But it definitely wasn't violent. There was some amount of skill level was filmed very well, and there was a context. It was a woman giving, I mean, there was process. There was a process from, you know, the beginning, as Guy likes to say, the beginning, the middle, and then this wonderful end. And I enjoyed that. I can dig it. I can do that.
I mean, you know, if I'm going to engage with porn, that's usually what I watch, is something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to watch the super violent stuff. And I know in the past, you know, when I've only had a few what I would consider like boyfriends in my life. And there was one that I had, and we broke up 10 years ago. But we would watch porn together at sometimes. Yeah. It wasn't all the time. It was sometimes we would watch porn when we were engaging with each other sexually, and I would just reach a limit with it. Like, okay, no, turn it off. I don't want to see this anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I could be okay with it for a period of time. Right. Now it's been probably 10 years since I've watched porn with a man. Yeah. However, you know, I think that to me it's, I guess, female on female porn is more attractive to me than female and male porn. Just as a woman, it's a different kind of thing.
And it's funny, I don't actually, regular porn, I don't actually like to see women and women necessarily either. It's not, you know, it was just that particular act that seemed to be, you know, attractive to me. But when I watch porn with you, yeah, I'm usually finished before as well. I'm usually like, yeah, okay, change. I would like to change far more frequently than Guy wants to change. Is that true? I can't remember because I'm not.
We don't watch that much porn together.
Yeah, we don't, right?
Well, and you've had this.
Could we watch some more porn together?
Of course we can.
To experiment.
Yeah, but you're gonna control the remote, right?
basically. So right, you compromise. Well, one of the many compromises that.
Right, and we only need a remote if there's a person that wants to change.
Watching porn also is a solitary thing too. When you think about pornography, it's never been a group thing. You know, even reading the magazines or reading porn, it's always been a thing that people have done by themselves.
True.
You know, but it has invaded relationships. You know, it has invaded relationships, and instead of getting it out of the relationship, most people try to bring it into the relationship.
You're so smart sometimes.
Which then makes the challenge, you know, and oftentimes a woman might say it's okay, but it's not okay, really. She's just saying like, "Hey, man, okay, I'm gonna do this one time. So next time, on the flip side, you know, you compromise and not, you know." And so,
do you see what they hear too? You see what men hear?
No, this is not what men hear. I'm only speaking for one man sitting right here.
But he's speaking. Okay.
You know, I'm speaking from a male point of view.
Got it. Okay.
Fair enough.
But you're speaking for yourself.
Yes, but I'm speaking for myself.
Well, and I can see, I want to get back to Guyana versus Jamaica and all of that in a second. However, I do know that one of the fear that I believe women more frequently have, it may be different in homosexual relationships, but that I would say women fear porn more because they know there's something they cannot give their man that the man is getting from the pornography. Yeah. So, and porn addiction is a real thing.
Yes.
And also, so where you can just hop around from video to video, and it's like, you know, there's a very different experience that happens when you're actually physically with someone in the flesh. Yeah. You know, that you don't get, you get different things from pornography and different things from the real live actual experience of it. And then also our fantasies. Sometimes our fantasies are better as fantasies in our mind than actual physical experiences. Of course. You know, so I know that this is an issue. I know someone very close to me divorced their husband because there was a porn addiction and it just took over, and it was like it took away from their relationship. And I have another dear person in my life who has had a porn addiction, and he said that, you know, it's almost like he's programmed himself to that type of energy and interaction that the real life experience is dull. It's not as exciting.
Yeah,
so those are some of the and then there's the whole sex trafficking and all of that side of things as well, where there's just a lot of really funky, dark, awful things happening within the porn industry as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's with most industries. There's
of course
the dark side and there's the light side. So, but getting to your countries of origin, I'm curious, Guy, for you, the difference between Guyana and Jamaica, and if there's a difference, and what that difference might be, and what's been your perception from Guyana to Jamaica to America
as it relates to what?
To sex and pornography and sexual programming, or as we're talking from Nigel's perspective, growing up in Jamaica. And
well, I was too young to even know about sex in Guyana, other than I know what sex is. I have no idea what it looks like. Mm-hmm. So most of part of my life, my sexual life, happened when I was in Jamaica. And I was fortunate to be in this performing arts group where we actually did sex education in high schools, and we had the super safe for sexual skills, and it was very graphic stories. We talked about gonorrhea, syphilis, and
with the youth.
With the youth,
cool.
Yeah. Oh, through song and dance and theater.
That's amazing.
And it was about these two couples, these two kids in high school, and they're kind of being forced into having sex, and the mother at home is saying, you shouldn't have sex, and the boys are telling him, and it's just one story that leads to a sad ending, but then of course there's redemption later on. It's a great story. So from very early, I knew that there was a way to have sex, and there was a safe way to do it. So you came upon it like that, for me. But then, of course, you come upon the magazines, and at a certain time, the cable stations used to change over to porn late in the night, But you're going to school in the week, so you go to sleep, and then
Or do you remember when someone close to you had a satellite dish?
Yep. People next door had satellite.
You could move your TV to the right spot
and then tune into their satellite dishes.
Just a little bit of the porn that was.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That's funny.
We had a satellite dish, so all we had to do was figure out where to navigate what it was, and it was like Galaxy D3, blah blah blah. You punch that in, because you have to punch it in, and it does Playboy Channel.
Nice.
It was
every boy's
fantasy.
It's
so much better when you come on it like that. You have to work really hard for it.
Yeah, of course.
Today it's so easy.
Yeah. So that was how sex was kind of you come upon sex like that, and then of course, you meet girls and you have all of that life experience. But the culture of music that's promoted in Jamaica is skewed, just like it seems like same thing in hip hop. It seems like all popular culture, they seem to want to, they as in, I don't know who controls, but they seem to want to promote certain things. Having a lot of money, having a lot of women, having a lot of consumed things and sex, and and the people who write about that are the ones who have the hits, and Rastafari come to challenge that, but it was kind of co-opted into this kind of spiritual philosophical thing. And when Bob Marley died, they said Bob Marley is reggae and he's Rasta and nobody else, and we never listened to any other. He kind of became like the Jesus of Rasta, and you could never be him, go up in the and he's put so high up. And even people like Aswad and all these great reggae bands, you never heard about them, but you heard about the artists.
This is in Jamaica.
This is in Jamaica. But then you had the experience of the artists who were saying, Nuff Panani, Nibad, stab up the pum pum, what you must do with it, flip it over, this and that, how many girls you must have, enough girls.
I have an idea.
That's what's promoted. So you come into the world and you go, that's what I'm going to do.
I need lots of girls, I need to have lots of sex, I need to have,
and people think, no,
and it's actually funny how
it's
persuasive
it's very persuasive.
How persuasive the music can be, because I can identify a few things that I did specifically because of what the music said. Even if I didn't I don't know. It's funny when you don't have another voice, somebody saying something else. That's the only idea. That's the only way that you come across it. But I have an idea. All right, here's this idea, real quick. It's a little radical of an idea, but I had this book. Guys, gonna remember the name of the book. It's called. It's a Taoist. It's
called Cultivating
Female Sexual Energy.
Cultivating Female Sexual Energy.
No, so I flip open this book. I'm like, yeah. I'm like looking through it, whatever. And I thought, what's funny? So it's from a different culture than mine. It's from a culture that's way older than this side of the world. And they have a completely different concept of what is happening between a man and a woman when they're having sex. These people are on a trip that's totally energetic and spiritual. And I don't mean emotional. I mean completely opposite. I mean they are trying to heal your liver, because in this position when the man enters you, it makes your liver you're going to forestall orgasm so that you can push the energy up your spine. And I'm like,
wow.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Wow.
And then that woman is supposed to let that energy out,
and then heal the man.
That's what it's supposed to be.
It is such
it's like
an amazing thing.
You are supposed to absorb her energy.
I thought, rotted. I said, suppose we said to kids, you know what? I know I told you shouldn't be having sex, but I know you're going to have sex anyway. But here's what I'm going to do. Don't do it behind the bush. I'm going to show you what you should be doing.
Yes.
So while you practice this, as in going to having yoga practice, I'm going to provide you with a nice safe space. I can't promise I'll be here or I'll be excited about you having sex, but I can say this. You can achieve these things. Try these. I'm just saying that if a kid was given the concept that they could become superhuman, like X-Men, or heroes or healers, or something like really be gamify it. Like make it something where it's not that the game is not about how many girls you can have sex with and bounce, and leave, or the game is not who can get you to have anal, and then it's more like who can, I don't know, something else, something much more. Even supernatural, something more out of this world kind of thing, like what this book is saying. Heal your liver, change your world, manifest something. Suppose you want a car, and suppose if you had sex in the right way, in the right way, you could become powerful enough or confident enough to get that job so that you could get a car. I don't know. I'm making this shit up, but I'm just saying. Since kids are going to have sex anyway, if they had a different message about it and there was a different purpose behind it, maybe they would practice it more responsibly and practice in a way that wouldn't promote violence or a disconnect. Yeah, and that actually sex that we really actually shouldn't be embarrassed about, shouldn't prohibit, shouldn't whatever, could be something that would move on to another level.
I think
I'm living in a dream world, right?
I think when you talk about how sex looks and how it will be up to you to choose, you know, how you engage with another person is all, because how do people in the bush have sex?
Yeah.
When those tribes in South America or tribes in Africa or tribes
do you mean
Inuit,
like when you don't have any point of reference?
You don't have any point of reference. You've not been manipulated by images.
What does it look
what
like?
Does it look like, right?
Maybe
and I'm
really
sure it looks
animalistic and juicy, right?
I mean,
because they know what animals look like.
Yeah.
Because that's where they
that's what
have
we
the
think.
reference, the visual reference.
But also too, a lot of porn is shot. It's shot for the camera. So it's meant for women to not look when women are. It's not shot from a woman's perspective. It's shot from the guy's perspective, looking at the woman.
And that's what I meant by women porn.
And then it's also shot for the cyclops, who's there, called the camera, to make sure that it's capturing the image so that the observer on the other side of the screen, who needs to have a tactile experience of this virtual connection, has one. And so it is meant for men and women. It's so, I like porn, but yes, I know, I agree. It's the shittiest of shit when it comes on to saying,
you got this on tape. It's the shittiest of shit.
Yeah, when it comes on to like,
guy, why are you watching this shittiest of shit?
Really cultivating each other's sexual energy towards the manifestation of a union that is just rooted in success and accomplishment and joy.
Well, and you know what this makes me think of is that I feel blessed to, for whatever reason, be connected to the sexual part of myself since I was a little girl. And I don't really know exactly how that happened. It doesn't feel like it happened in any sort of weird or wrong way, but I just always had a connection to that energy within myself. And I have thus had many amazing, deep sexual connections with men. And I was shocked to learn that someone very close to me was not having those deep experiences with men where it's like otherworldly, you know, it's like you feel the energy, you can harness the energy, and it's just like this hours long, night long experience and adventure, you know, because a lot of humans, I believe, are just sort of like one and done. They're in and out. You know, it's like, it's just for the act, for the act. I think that there are probably a lot of women who are just trying to like, okay, let him have his way and just get it over with. They're not really, they're checked out. They're not interested. They're not being loved and manipulated in good ways physically to you know, and just played with and pleasured and pleased, because things somewhere along the way for many people have gotten skewed and off course and disconnected. Yeah. So I love this idea of harnessing the energy of it.
Right, for a specific purpose that is previously decided, things like that. I know what you're saying.
You know, and to use that power. I mean, you know, I've been with men who don't desire to even climax. Yeah. They're like, no, I'm holding my chi. You know, I'm like, you know, and there is something about that that is so hot. Yeah. You know? So there's something, it becomes something greater than just an orgasm. Yeah. Because I can rub one off anytime. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes better than when I'm with a man. You know what I mean? Right. So, but this is a great conversation, and just to kind of bring this full circle, because I know how we do. We could go on for the next 3 hours. It'll be dark, and we'll
talk
have
about
the epic
Avarian Kung Fu
5-hour
next show.
So what started this conversation is porn bad? Right. You know, and that's something that I've been, you know, exploring in my own world. We're just going to bring that full circle and just give thanks for the opportunity to engage in this conversation with you two. And so Guy and Nigel are two of the most incredible, unique human beings that I've had the pleasure of crossing paths with and aligning with in this lifetime. And so we will continue this conversation. If you have input, ideas, book suggestions, website suggestions, holler at us, hello@igniteintimacy.com. And I'd love it. Would you like to share anything about the work that you do in the world, or any ways that people can find out more about what you're up to in the world?
You can check us out at futurepointe.org, which is futurpointe.org. And then you can check us out.
And what do you call your project? Your
Future Point Dance, and we're
reggae ballet.
Reggae ballet, yes. The mysticism of Rastafari, the lilt of reggae, the virtuosity of ballet. You know, that's what we do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Give thanks and praises. So grateful, and we will continue this conversation. You are listening to Ignite Intimacy. Give thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Peace out.
All right.
Ciao.
Give thanks for tuning in to another conversation on the Ignite Intimacy podcast hotline. We love that you choose to spend your time with us. Check us out online at igniteintimacy.com and subscribe to us on iTunes. Also, tell your friends all about it. This beautiful music was arranged by Jason Pfaff and Mike Corey, and this podcast is produced by yours truly, Miss La. Give thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, let your light shine bright and ignite your intimacy.